Hey guys, happy Wednesday and welcome to the Eureka Springs channel and our brand new show called Sounds of Eureka. It's a little show where we just like to have conversations with local musicians, the people who keep us entertained and happy and everybody jamming along. So this is our inaugural segment, and today I thought I would bring in a fellow that you guys all know, but probably don't really know a lot about. And you know him as half of a duo called the Bad Jacksons. But his name is Jackson Gibson, and we'd like to welcome him to our show. Jack, are you there?
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me. What's up, Kenny?
There you are. Hi.
Hey, buddy. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Thank you so much for
Thanks for
having me on
joining
your
this
inaugural
afternoon.
show. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here, man. The Sounds of
Oh,
Eureka. This is awesome.
it's my pleasure, and you know, I mean, it's like I said, it's a show where we're just gonna have conversations about musical process, maybe how you got started in music, you know, why you keep doing it. I mean, I know why we keep doing it because we can't live without it, but
Sure.
you know, just little insights into who we are, because you know, a lot of the times people don't really get to experience us as anything other than on stage, and
Sure. Oh,
you know,
sure.
those shows are vastly different than just having a one-on-one conversation with someone, and
I'm
you
sure there
can't
will
really
be
do that
some
in a bar
very,
setting anyway.
yeah, very interesting conversations because Eureka has some very interesting musicians. I mean, just walking down the street, you can hear 4 or 5 different shows on any given afternoon or evening, and like, what a cool community of musicians. And I'm so happy to be on this show with you guys. I don't currently live in Eureka, but I spend more time in Eureka than I spend anywhere else. Every week, every weekend, playing with you, of course. And I just love it. I love our city so much. I still think of it as home. So yeah, what a great idea for a show. I'm excited to see the rest of these. And you're a great idea for a host too, buddy. I'm good job.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. Well, you know, like I said, there's like you said, there's so many varied musicians here. You know, you're walking down the street and you'll get violin on one side of this side of the
Yeah,
street, and then you know, walk up a little bit and you'll have saxophone going, you know, or a
sure,
lovely folk duet. You know,
sure.
it's
And
never
all
ending the possibilities.
yes, and I just love the culture of music in Eureka is so cool. Uh, how there's not a lot of places where you can say you're a musician, and as your career, and people are like, oh, cool. Mostly people will look at you a little side-eyed and be like, "Oh, really? Okay, what do you really do?" But in Eureka, there's a really old music culture, and it's not just old time music, which is great, or bluegrass, which is great, all kinds of music, which you can find all kinds of amazingly talented musicians in Eureka. So
You can't throw a rock in Eureka Springs without hitting a really amazing musician.
yeah,
I
and
mean, really,
it's a
I mean,
joy
that's
to.
why we moved here.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great idea back. So you and I met about, I guess it's about 7 years ago, ish, in
Yeah.
Fayetteville. You were living in Fayetteville, and we played together a little bit there. But then it was time for you to relocate, and I needed a place to go. So we decided to find a place in Eureka, and that's where you ended up there at the Cedars. And so that was when I got to live in Eureka for the first time. And I will say it took you and I probably 2 or 3 years to integrate ourselves into the live music
It-
scene in Eureka. Uh, it was a little hard to break into at first, but you got out there and you were doing your open mic. And I told you this last week. You were doing your open mic, and so I got to come down and jam with you at the open mic, which was at a place that's not around anymore.
yeah,
Uh,
the old Grub and Pub.
The old Grub and Pub, yeah, and then that's
Yeah.
where Slim played with us, and Slim from Sprung Billy, they're still going great, although Slim's not with them anymore.
Amazing,
Uh,
amazing band.
yeah, and Slim was like, "Hey, you got to come play at the Grand," and then you and I ended up playing at the Grand, and then that's how we got going into the Eureka scene. And so I'm excited that we're still playing weekly in Eureka, and that we are hopefully we're getting back into the Grand hotel to play some more gigs coming up
Fingers
very soon.
crossed.
So that'll be a lot of
Yes.
fun. But
We've got a comment from Tanya Smith real quick. She says, funny, I just stopped by Saturday to New Delhi and saw these artists. I wasn't expecting it to be so awesome. I enjoyed a set and had a frozen drink, which the entire experience made my day. Thank you so much,
wonderful.
Tanya.
Thank you, Tanya.
That's
We're so
a
happy.
beautiful comment.
That's exactly. Hey, Sandra, how you doing? That's our favorite thing, is to hear people have a good
We
time
love you,
at the
babe.
show. We love you so much, Sandra. Uh, but I don't have to tell you this, Kenny, but I'll tell everyone else, I guess. Hi there. Oh, we
Hey,
love
Sheila,
you.
we love you. We can't wait to play your party.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But as well as I do, we love to hear people after the show talk to us. For people that don't know, what you and I do is a sort of a piano bar type experience, where if you've ever been to a dueling pianos type of bar, there's a lot of requests, but really it's a lot of like sing-alongs, songs that everybody knows
Yes.
that you can get in and sing along with. I guess it's a big sing-along cabaret-ish type of, maybe not cabaret, but like, what am I trying to say? Like you work like a crooner,
It kind of is cabaret. I mean,
because I'm backing you up on piano, and you're out front singing most of the time. And but we just want to make it a big living room party where everyone has a great time singing along.
yes.
And so we love hearing the feedback, like where people have had a good time. I think that's you and I's specialty, is being able to encounter a group of people that have no idea what we're going to do, and then winning them over, hopefully. And then by the end of the
Hopefully,
show,
yes.
hopefully they like us. So that's
Yes,
nice.
and thank you, Terry. Thank you for checking us out and being a fan, Terry. We do love you guys.
Yes, thank you, Terry.
Um,
Hi, Marla.
oh, and there's Marla.
Love you.
Hey, Marla. Um, yeah, and I think that's the whole that's really kind of the way that we set our whole show up was simply by um, just having living room music parties.
Yes,
I
right.
can remember on more than one occasion where we might have had, I don't know, 30 people
Sure.
at my house on Mount Sequoia, or
Right.
maybe not quite that many here, but it was just a jam.
Well,
And
that's
that's
what
what
it
I always
started
love to
as.
bring to the stage. And I know you do too, where it's just
Yeah.
organic
I
and
came to your
just
Music
flows.
Sunday, I believe, was what you called them.
You did.
Music Sundays, and where like you said, it was just a house party, but it was so much fun. I love the rules. I love the house rules at your place or wherever you live. It used to be called the 20 Oaks, right, in Fayetteville, and that what we called it.
Yes.
And then the Cedars
Yep.
now. You've always got a big grand piano, and your parties aren't the kind of party where you go and there's like music playing, because there's just musicians everywhere walking around with instruments, and so someone will sit down at the piano and play. Everybody plays and sings the whole time, and it's a really fun way to get together with people and meet. And especially for someone like me, I'm not a big house party guy. I
Mhm.
I'm on the shy side, so I sitting behind a piano is a great way for me to hang out at a party. Like, I can just, you know have my little
Well, you
piano
lose yourself
security
in that
blanket.
zone,
Yeah,
right?
and it's
Sure.
so
It's a
much
really
fun.
big security
Everybody's
blanket.
enjoying it. So yeah, that's where it all came from.
Yeah, and I love that. I mean, that we're able to take that on the stage. But before we were doing that, I mean, before we were doing our cabaret show, you did so many different kinds of music
Sure, sure. Well,
throughout your musical career.
yeah, I guess a little bit of what I've done before you and I got together. Right now, it's 100% the Bad Jacksons. That's what we're doing right now, and so that's where all my writing focus and stuff goes. But I'd say before you and I met, I was spending a lot of time in Fayetteville, working as a gigging musician, just in other people's bands. I got a chance to play with Isaiah's All Stars and like Jesse Dean and those guys. And
Great
more
musician.
recently, I got a chance to play with the Schwag for a little while. They're a band out of St. Louis, and they're like, it's more like jam band stuff. And the Schwag are like Grateful Dead tribute band, and so that's where I came from, was playing like Grateful Dead covers, and then before that having my own band where when I was younger, you know, I would write songs and the band would learn them, and we would go out and do these little tours and where it was just a bunch of young guys jumping in a cargo van basically and going and selling $10 CDs to get from city to city, uh, and and more often than not sleeping in the van or wherever someone's floor wherever we could. And so those are good memories. And I spent a lot of time doing that, writing original stuff. And honestly, all the writing these days has geared more towards writing with you and writing for the Bad Jacksons. Although we don't play as many originals usually as a lot of other bands, we have quite a catalog of originals, and we have that
Yeah.
proverbial album out there that we're going to release one of these days.
Well, I think that we've got a clip of an original song from you from I think you wrote this many years ago, definitely before I was in the picture.
Yeah, this is an
And
old.
I want to remind you guys before this is called "I'll Run Away," but I want to remind you guys before we cut to some music to like, follow, and subscribe to us. You can catch us on Facebook, of course, on the Eureka Springs channel. We're also on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram.
Yes.
Melody, do we have a little clip from "I'll Run Away" by Jackson Gibson?
Message on the phone today. Left thinking at me in the dark hallway. I wrote in dreams and streamed right, yeah. Had enough long years to give this one more try. Oh, that road that leads so many astray. Message on the phone today. So many roads, baby. I can't go back now. I wouldn't wanna think about it anyhow, yeah. Anything you want, anything you need, and I'll run away.
That is gorgeous, brother.
Very
Thank you.
gorgeous.
Oh,
And,
man.
and I can't believe in all this time you have never played that song for me.
Well, yeah, like I said, I've got a bunch of songs from the old days that might be worth revisiting. But that song, it's interesting that I just randomly kind of picked an old one, but that one I remember writing about.
Hey, Lynette.
I
So
was hi, hey. I think I was living in North Carolina or something many, many years ago, and playing in a band that it, it wasn't the band I necessarily really wanted to be playing with. I had a bunch of friends up in Detroit that I was that I had played with before, and I wanted to go play music with them again. But I was sort of stuck doing something with other very talented musicians, but it wasn't the style that I wanted. So I wrote this song when I got a call from my friend up in Detroit saying, "Hey, why don't you come join the band up here?" And it was sort of about having to quit one band to join another band, and that's why the chorus is like, "Anything you want, anything you need, I'll run away," because those were the musicians I wanted to play with.
yeah,
And so it's interesting, I think, that bands and musical relationships are so close to actual romantic relationships or
yeah,
family relationships. Like when you're in a musical project with somebody, it's it's like a marriage. You know what I mean?
it
Like it
is
really is.
absolutely.
There's a lot of like give and take, and looking out for the other person, and you know, you form a really strong bond with people.
Yes,
And like, I think we have a really strong bond. I consider you my brother, and I love
absolutely.
you. And there's, you know, there's a few musicians throughout my life that I've really bonded closely with, and that was one of those situations. And so I guess it's sort of a love song about a band, which is
Well, it is. I mean, and you're
excuse me.
absolutely right. It is a relationship, and it is kind of a marriage. And it's pretty much as close to having someone else with an opinion about your life as you can possibly get is
Yeah,
when you're making
music gets
music
real
with someone.
personal.
You know, you
Yeah, it
really
does.
really care about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
And especially, like, you know, you're writing these really personal songs and bringing them to someone else, and then sort of they're the first person that gets to see your
yeah,
soul get bared. And I've been there with you when you've been in some really emotional places writing songs, and it's so fascinating to watch the way you do it. And for you, it's almost like these songs are finished in your head. You know, I know that's like a
hmm
cliche you hear about people, but like, I've seen you spit out a song in 15 minutes that
hmm
is fully written, almost like you had it in your head already. And that blows my
it's kind of
mind.
like that though. It's like being struck by lightning, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah. Well, I
um,
guess the way I work is I'll get an inspiration for like a melody, and then a rhythm where I'm sort of singing something in my head all of a sudden, and I'm like, oh, that might make something neat. And I was just writing something last week, and I noticed that my process is so different than yours, because I think that I get this idea of a little chord structure in my head, and then I'm kind of in the woods, so to speak. But I sort of just drop myself in the middle of that song, and I'm like, okay, here's point A, and I've got to get to point B. You know, I've got to get through this first verse. So what am I going to say first? Boom, that's what I'm going to say. This line, okay, there's my opening line. That leads to this line. And really, I don't start looking at the whole structure of the song until I get past that first verse chorus section, you know, because then
sure,
I've got it kind of honed in. And but I'm basically finding my way, you know, and that makes it so cathartic for me to write, because it's almost
sure.
like what needs to come out comes out. I'm not trying to force some idea onto the page, you know. And whenever I try to do that, whenever you try to force a song to be a certain
It's the
way, it never
worst.
works, right? That never works. You're like, oh,
No.
that's why there's not a whole lot of super happy songs, it seems like, because when you're happy,
Right.
you're like, okay, I need to get this happiness down into music, and it doesn't can't translate real well. It's like, I'm
Well,
happy.
you know, being one of those kids who grew up in the '80s and the early '90s were full of angst, right? So
Yes.
nothing makes us happier than a sad song. Hey, I want to
Yeah.
remind you guys and thank you guys for commenting on our show because we love all of you first of all, but also if you guys do comment. You will be entered into the May drawing for a $20 Apple Music gift card, and who
Nice.
couldn't use more music in their lives? I'll tell you, all
Nice.
of us could. I know that I feel like I'm in a deficit of music when we're not getting to play on stage.
Nice. Nice work, buddy. Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. You guys be sure to comment and get in on that. That's good stuff. Who doesn't need more
Yeah,
music
and
in their
so
life?
exactly. I mean, it makes the world go round as far as I'm concerned. There's a song
You could
for
use it to
everything.
download some great Eureka musicians. I'm sure they're out there plugging away at it.
Oh, interesting.
Jackson,
So, I
interesting.
think I read something about how Eureka Springs was almost named Jackson Springs because of one of the founders of this
Doctor.
place.
Oh yeah, there was a
Um,
Jackson in
and
the founders.
mhm, yeah,
Right.
Dr. Jackson, I believe it was, and they almost named it for that family for the Jacksons.
Right.
That would
And
be weird if it was called Jackson Springs now, wouldn't it? Since we're playing here.
for sure. And it would just
So
be
let me ask you
triple
something.
confusing.
So do you find that music's easier for you now that you're not running from place to place? Now that you're more like a home, like we're based. We've got it. You've got a good
Right.
base of places that you play. You've got a good base of fans
Yeah.
that know who you are and they follow you and they want music? I mean, I know what the answer is going to be, but
Yeah,
it's definitely different than that run around and sell some CDs to get to the next
you know how
town.
it is. Yeah, you've been a musician your whole life, so you know what it's like. Traveling is something that I think is better done when you're younger. As far as being a musician, that's my personal thing, and I have a whole lot of respect for my friends that I see who are touring musicians.
Yeah.
That's hard work. No matter how big or little your show is, that's amazingly hard work. A couple of years ago, as you know, I took a little time out and went and joined the Swag for a little while, and um, they were all touring basically. Like the first show we played was um, out in New Jersey, at Atlantic City. So that was like almost a 2-day drive just to get to one show, and it really opened my eyes to how hard it is to go on tour and how much work there is. People don't realize, I don't think, that a band like that will have to travel for days to get to the show, have to set up for hours and hours and hours ahead of time, have to play the show right after that, and then spend the next 3 or 4 hours doing some incredibly heavy like lifting and stuff. So it's a lot of hard work. I have so much respect for bands that have to do that or that can do that. I don't mean have to do that. That's a that's something that they are road warriors. So I don't know if I'm meant to be as much of a warrior. I really enjoy having Eureka be our home base. You know what I mean?
Oh yes, me
And
too.
I
So
really
Terry
enjoy.
Hatch
How do we
asks
meet and
how
form our band?
to form our band.
Okay, well, Kenny was, like I said, he was living in Fayetteville. This was about 7 years ago, and I, uh, Kenny and I joined a small band together called R&R, where it was just three people singing, and eventually it just ended up being the two of us because the third person uh, left the group, creative differences, and so it was just me and Kenny. Kenny called me up one day and he's like, "Hey, it's just the two of us. You want to play some music?" And he invited me over. And like I said, we spent a lot of music Sundays hanging out at Kenny's house, just playing in a living room setting. And then so once we moved to Eureka, we decided we wanted to play out as much as possible. And so that's how we started playing in Eureka. But basically, Kenny and I just met. Uh, through other musicians, being both musicians in the Fayetteville scene. Kenny, we all know all the same people, and it was just a
Yes,
matter of time before we
yes,
met and became
yes.
we became
It was
friends.
weird that it didn't happen sooner. Terry says that she wants to hire us for a party on the patio at her house, a pool
That
party with
sounds
Bad
great.
Jacksons. I am all down for that as long as I can swim in my
Weather.
t-shirt.
I want a pool party right now. It's beautiful out. That sounds great. Thank you. That would be fantastic. But yeah, man, you know how it is. Like, I don't know if it has to do with age because there's plenty of musicians who tour when they're a little bit older, but as I've gotten a little bit older, I don't want to be on the road as much. And I've got a family here that
You
I've got
do.
my wife Casey,
You've got big things going on there,
right?
buddy.
I've got my wife Casey and our little girl Asher, and then we are expecting a new baby in November. So we've got our little nest here, and it's hard for me to be away for more than a day or so. Uh,
Oh
but
no. Well,
so I'm
and you guys
very
are a lovely
grateful.
family,
Thank
and I know
you.
that Casey really is supportive of your music and you
She
and
is.
whatever it is that you want to do there.
She is.
Um,
She's been a rocket rocket
she's been
booster
like
for
that
me.
from day one. And what
She
a
has
fabulous
been.
singer she is.
She is. Casey and I met
If you can get her on stage.
in Friends of the Family. Yep. We were both playing in Grateful Dead cover band, and that's how we met. And I just wanted to mention real quick that I couldn't have done any of this where I'm at now without you and her and all y'all's support. I had a real drug problem uh, many years ago, and it it was to the point where it was ruining my life, and so I had to go to rehab and get it taken care of, and so I went through drug court, and so now I'm going on about 4 years uh, free of hard drugs, and it, it, it I've encountered so many people in the music scene that are amazingly talented people, and they've let that sort
Yes.
of get the better of them. And
We've
you know,
lost a few of those.
you and I, yes, we've lost good friends of ours who are just amazingly talented people uh, to drug overdoses and stuff. And it's really, I just want to encourage anybody that's listening to realize that you can have a better life. My life has improved so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Uh, it's hard to even put into words how much better life has gotten, and I really appreciate you, my brother, standing by me through all that. And
I can never ever give up on you, my friend. No
well, I
way.
appreciate that.
No
I
way.
mean,
The music's too good and your
I
soul's
would
too
have given
good.
up on me. Let's put it that way. It was night. It's a night and day difference, and I just had to turn. I had to walk away from everything and turn it all around, and it's something I couldn't have done without you and Casey and my folks, and so and everybody that comes out to shows and encourages us. Like, we appreciate that so much. We
It's what we live for, right? I
absolutely
mean,
do. Like,
honestly, I mean,
giving,
for or at least if, to a big extent.
like those giving out happiness is one of the best things you can do with your time. Even just playing music for free, it doesn't matter. It's
Yes.
just such a good feeling to be able to trade that happiness with people, because we get
When
as
you put a
much back as
smile on
we.
someone else's face, you know,
Yes.
and it's like I always say, it's like this constant velocity engine. You know, we're putting this energy out there, and
Mm,
the crowd is eating it up, and they're giving it back to us, and then we're digesting it again, and we're spitting it back out of them. You know, and it's like this constant cycle. And you know, once we get into that little groove and that little stream with the crowds, there's absolutely nothing else like it in the whole
no,
universe.
no, and
I'm pretty sure.
I just can't. What is one of our favorite songs to perform?
What is one of
Gosh,
your favorite
one of my
songs to
personal
perform?
favorite songs to perform. That's a good question. I mean, I honestly do like performing New York State of Mind. There's something about doing that one and then having you come in towards the end and slide in. I'm a big Billy Joel fan, I guess. I always wanted to be the piano man.
Oh yeah.
So
Well,
I
you are
like,
the piano man.
yeah. I'm the sheriff of Piano Town, right?
You are. Hey, can we hear a little clip of that real quick? I know we're running short of time, but I'd love for
Seen
folks
all
who
the
haven't.
movie stars
There he
in
is.
their fancy cars and their limousines. I've been high up in the Rockies, way up under the evergreens. You know what I mean? But I'm taking a Greyhound down the Hudson River line. I'm in a New York state of mind. It was so easy living day by day,
That's excellent, my brother.
out of touch with them on a rhythm and blues. And now I need a little give and take. The New York Times and the Daily News comes down to reality. Well, it's fine with me, 'cause I've let it slide, and I don't care if it's Chinatown or maybe around Riverside. I don't know. I don't have any reasons. I've left them all behind. I'm in a New York state of mind. What do you think, Kenny?
Oh no, let's not bring that
How
kitty
about
guy
a
into
Eureka
it.
state of mind?
That was great.
Oh,
That
I
was
see his cocktail. I see your cocktail.
Was so easy.
So I know you're coming in there. You know what else? I'm also feel like I'm one of the best ever at knowing when a bartender is walking behind me carrying something. Like, I out of the corner of my eye see it and I move forward just a little bit.
I
And
watch you every show,
yeah,
and you do it
it's
so gracefully.
an extra mechanic to playing, you know.
Music isn't what you do; it's who you are. You are absolutely right, my dear.
Yeah,
That is absolutely what music is for anybody who plays it with passion
for
and plays
sure.
it with love and knows that you absolutely have to have it in your life. Jackson, I want to thank you so very much, my brother, for
Thank you for
joining
having
us
me,
and having a little
man.
conversation today. on our very first episode of Sounds of Eureka, where we have
So
honest
much fun.
conversations with our wonderful local musicians and talk about process and what gets us on that stage or what makes us put pen to paper. You can catch us on the Eureka Springs channel. Follow us, subscribe us, like us on YouTube, Facebook, of course, Twitter, and Instagram. And yeah, we're going to be having another episode coming up here pretty quick. So you guys watch out here on Facebook for announcements. And thank you guys so much for your comments and for tuning in today. And Jack, thank you again so much. I will see you Friday. I'll try to get there in time to help you unload equipment.
It's okay, Kenny. You just do what you do, and I'll get it all set up. Yeah, I'll see you Friday in New Delhi.
All right, brother.
Love you, buddy.
You have a great day.
You
I
too.
love you too. Again, thank you guys so much for joining us for our inaugural segment of Sounds of Eureka. I am Kenny Ray Jackson, and this is the Eureka Springs channel. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Have a great day.